Hare Krishna. Can you hear my voice? Am I audible? Okay, let's start. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadveda Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining today's session. We have been discussing from the fifth chapter of the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The chapter is titled as Teachings of Rishabhadev. And in the teachings of Rishabhadev, he gave instructions about human form of life, the importance of performing bhakti, and the importance of taking responsibility of a dependent. Guru na sasyat, vajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, and so on. Namo chayedya samupeta mrityum. If you cannot help that person deliver, if you help deliver that person, then you should not take that responsibility. And then he instructed them that, I am the Supreme Lord who should be worshipped, and your brother is that Mahat who should be worshipped and whose guidance you should take. And then he says, but that does not mean that you can neglect. As Kshatriyas, you should set the right example by taking guidance from the Brahmanas. And then he glorifies the Brahmanas. And then subsequently establishes, but definitely the Vaishnavas should be respected more than the Brahmanas. And then finally, he also said, but that does not mean that you disrespect the other living entities. Respecting all the other living entities and even non-living entities, ordinary non-living inert matter should also be respected properly, because that will set in the right culture of respect, which will carry over to our dealings with the Vaishnavas. Okay. So that is the next theme that he discussed. He said that at all times you should meditate on all moving and non-moving beings with pure vision, since I am situated in all of them as the super soul. But that does not mean that you respect all the other living entities because I am situated as a super soul. That is not sufficient. You should also worship me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in my personal form. And you should serve me directly with mind, speech, sight, and other senses belonging to the body. That is worship of me. And without this kind of a worship, a man cannot be freed from the ropes of death or from the great illusion. This is the conclusion. So this is where we ended our discussion yesterday. And today we will try to see if we can complete this chapter. His instructions are over. All that we are left with is how Rishabhadev's renunciation as an avadut, how he renounces, what are the examples that he sets by renouncing his life. Okay. Again, as we said, we are getting back to the prose format of the verses. We will continue. So here is Shukadev Goswami continuing this narration. He says, Evam anushasya atmajan swayam anushishtan api loka anushasanartam mahanubhavaha paramasuhrid bhagavan rishabhapadesha upashamashilanam uparata karmanam mahamuninam bhakti jnana vairagya lakshanam paramahamsya dharmam upashikshamanah स्वतनय शत ज्येष्ठम परम भागवतम भगवज्जन परायणम भरतम धरणि पालनया अभिषिच्य स्वयं भवन एव उर्वरित शरीर मात्र परिग्रह उन्मत्त इव गगन परिधानः प्रकीर्ण केश आत्मनि आरोपित आह्वनीयो ब्रह्मावर्तात् प्रबभ्राज. So what it means, thus the great well-wisher of everyone, The Supreme Lord Rishabhadev instructed his own sons, although they were highly learned, they did not need these instructions. They knew all of this, but by instructing them, then what was the need for instruction? Huh? So he says, Loka Anushasanartam, to set an example for the public. So he instructed his sons. Having given instructions about the path of Jnana, Vairagya, and Bhakti for great sages who have become detached from material life and have given up material karmas, he enthroned the eldest amongst his sons, Bharat Maharaj, the topmost devotee and the servant of the Vaishnava, to protect the earth. So he enthroned Bharat Maharaj. Then, accepting only bodily maintenance, even while remaining at home and acting like a madman, he then took the sacrificial fire within himself and walked about Brahmavarta naked with disheveled hair. So he left home. And even for a short while, when he was at home, uh, he only took what was barely needed to maintain himself, maintain his body. Hmm. And then he left home also. And it is mentioned that he took the sacrificial fire within himself. Let's see if there is an explanation of this phrase. Upashikshamanaha means he instructed. Remaining at home, he accepted only bodily maintenance. Okay, there is no explain. Taking the sacrificial fire within himself. Mm, okay, there is no explanation of this. Let's not uh, speculate on this. Jadanda Muka Badira Pishacha Unmadakavad Avaduta Vesho Abhibhashyamanopi Jananam Grihita Maunavratas Tushnim Babuva. After accepting the dress of an Avadut, Lord Rishabdev acted like a dull person, blind, deaf and mute, like a ghost or a madman. When addressed by people, he remained silent since he had taken a vow of silence. So he remained silent. He did not even respond to their questions. So, tatra puragramakara, kheta, vata, kharvata, shibira, vraja, gosha, sartha, giri, vana, ashramadishu, anupatam, avanicharapasadaihi, paribhuyamano, makshikabir iva vanagajas tarjana, tadana, avamehana, Shthivana, Grava, Shakrid, Rajaha, Prakshepa, Putivata, Duruktaihi, Tad Aviganayan, Eva Asat Samstana Etasmin, Dehopalakshane, Sadapadesha, Ubhayanubhava Swarupena, Swamahima Avasthana, Avasthanena, Asamar, Asamaropitaham, Mamabhimanatvad avikandita prithivim ekacharaha paribabrama. Further it is described. Prithivim ekacharaha paribabrama. He wandered the earth alone, going here and there through towns, villages, mines, farms, mountains, mountain villages, gardens, military camps, cow pens, cowherd villages, travelers' refuges, mountains, forests, and settlements of sages. He passed through all of them. Hmm. Does it remind you of anyone else? Does it remind you of anyone else? This description? Yes, Narada Muni, right? Namanyanantasya hatatrapapatan guhyani badrani kritani cha smaran gam paryatan tushtamana gataspraha kalam pratikshan vimado vimatsaraha. Okay. The same thing. Narada Muni also did the same thing. So he remained indifferent like an elephant surrounded by flies. Though he was humiliated by the insults, scoldings, and beatings. People were beating him also, of low class people, who sometimes urinated on him, spat on him, threw stones, stool, or dust on him, or passed foul air on him. I mean, can you imagine the extent to which, I mean, this is Satya Yuga. So, which means still very degraded people were there during that time also. Okay, this was, you know, unbelievably indecent behavior. Unbelievably indecent behavior. Of course, some of them would have been, very, very outcast kind of people, or children. Okay, or children. Okay, children would do anything, when because they are not mentally developed. Okay, they are not very mentally developed. So they end up doing things not, because, I remember, our house is, um, right next to railway line. Okay, railway line. Little far away from the nearest local railway station, but it's close to the railway line. So I used to remember when at late nights, not very late nights, fairly late night, when the road used to be empty, sometimes, children out of fun, just out of fun, when trains used to pass through those lines, they used to pick up stones and hit, because it would be dark there in that passage. No one can see, and you can see the local trains with, it is quite a far distance from where those children used to be. They would be pelting stones sometimes. So, I mean, this is just for fun. They don't think so much. They don't realize that maybe it could go and hit a person on his head. It could go and, hit someone on their eyes or break their glasses. I mean, things could happen, but children are children, right? So they don't think, they are not very far sighted. Okay. Extraordinary qualities, sometimes uh, expecting qualities like gratitude, you know, m- from children is a little bit unreasonable, because for that they have to grow up little bit, somewhat, in order to even understand these qualities. So till a particular point, they would be naturally very, very selfish. They can't uh, they can't think beyond their selfish needs. So these qualities, when they grow up little bit, then slowly they start manifesting these qualities, expression of gratitude, apologizing, genuinely feeling apologetic. Of course, you can say sorry, you can, you can, you can tell them like that, but genuinely inspiring them to apologize, these things take some time, feeling apologetic, feeling grateful. You can tell them, say thank you, and the child will say thank you, but genuinely feeling grateful. Uh, So for that, some amount of growth is needed. Okay, whether it is Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, any Yuga, you know, till, so many of these children and outright outcasts. Outcasts were there even in Satya Yuga. Maybe the outcasts were little better behaved than the Kali Yuga outcasts, but nevertheless, outcasts were there. But still, this kind of behavior sounds very unreasonable, very, um, like kind of issue. It defies reasoning. You see here, they are like doing all these kinds of urinate on him. urinating on him, spitting on him. Of course, this is mentioned, these were low class people. But he was not afflicted, since he did not identify with me or mine and was situated in a spiritual body. Understanding that his body, composed of the universe, was temporary, even though real, while distinguishing the functions of the spiritual and the material energies. Okay, what does this say? He was not afflicted since he did not identify with me or mine and was situated in a spiritual body. Understanding that his body, composed of the universe, was temporary, though real, while distinguishing the functions of the spiritual and material energy. This is a little bit of a confusing sentence. Let us read it again. He says, he was not afflicted since he did not identify with me or mine and was situated in a spiritual body. So definitely it is mentioned that his body was spiritual, of course, because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Now, what does this mean? Understanding that his body, composed of the universe, was temporary, though real. Okay, though real is fine, was temporary. What does it mean that his body, composed of the universe, while distinguishing the functions of the spiritual and the material energies? Now, this needs to be understood. Let's see if there is a commentary on this. Okay. Pura means city, Grama means a town without a market. Akara is a mine. Khet is a farm community. Karvata is a village on a mountain slope. Vata is a flower garden. Shiviram is a military encampment. Vraja is a place for cows. Gosha is a cowherd village. Sartha is a gathering of place of travelers. Ashrama is a village of sages. The lowest of men scolded him to create fear in him, bet him, urinated on him, and spit phlegm on him. They threw stones, stool, and dust on him and passed foul air on him. Humiliated in this way, he tolerated it all because he did not identify with the body, which is a temporary situation, though it is called as real. This is Sridhar Swami's explanation. Jiva Goswami says that this statement is made only to give instruction to the common people. You see here. This statement is made, this explanation is given only to give uh, instruction to the common people. The word etasmin should not therefore indicate his body, but the universe, since his body is spiritual. See, this is the clarification. Our acharyas are unbelievable. They will not leave any scope for misunderstanding. Clarified here. Because the universe is temporary, it is called asat samsthane. As a unit, it is designated as the body of the Lord. Deho Palakshana. Because why the universe is considered to be a body of the Lord? Just like a person exactly knows what is happening in what part of his body. Okay. Similarly, the Lord knows exactly about what happens in what part of the universe. And he is omniscient. In that sense, the universe in a secondary way is called as the body of the Lord, but literally the Lord's body is not made of matter. It is transcendental, it is spiritual. So, yeah. He did not identify with that body composed of the universe. If he were to identify with that body, which is the universe composed of those who insulted him, he would lament, thinking, oh, my body composed of the universe is contaminated by this great offense. Yes, even though the universe is his body, but he was not identifying with it because even though it belonged to him, but it was just his Bahiranga Shakti. The just his Bahiranga Shakti. He did not identify with that body since he was situated in his own glory, his body of knowledge and bliss, with realization of his Chit Shakti belonging to his Swarupa and his Maya Shakti, which was not his Swarupa. So he clearly understood, this is my Swarupa Shakti, this is my Maya Shakti. Even though I am aware of what is happening here, just like one would be aware of what is happening in this body, but this so-called body of mine is not my real body, and it is not, yeah. So that way he did not have identification with it. Okay, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, let's continue. Ati Sukumara Charana Uraha Stala Vipula Bahu Amsa Gala Vadanadi Avayava Vinyasa Prakriti Sundara Swabhava Hasa Sumuko Nava Nalina Dalayamana Shishira Tararunayuta Nayana Ruchiraha Sadrisha Subaga Kapola Karna Kantanaso Viguda Smita Vadana Mahotsavena Puravanitanam Manasi Kusuma Sharasanam Upadadana Parag Avalambamana Kutila Jatila Kapisha Kesha Bhuri Bharo Avaduta Malina Nija Sharirena Graha Grihita Iva Adrishyata. His tender hands and feet, his chest, long arms, shoulders, neck, face, and other limbs were well placed. His face had a natural smile and natural beauty. He had beautiful eyes like new lotus petals, reddish with cooling pupils. His forehead, neck, ears, and nose had intense beauty. He awakened love in the minds of the city women with his joyful face with a deep smile. He had abundant brown matted hair falling all around. Since his body was neglected and covered with dirt, he appeared to be haunted. Sadrisha means extreme. He had an extremely attractive forehead. Yarhi vavasa Bhagavan lokam imam yogasya adda pratipam iva achakshanaha tat pratikriya karma bibatsitam iti vratam ajagaram astitah Shayana eva ashnati pibati kadati avamehati hadati sma cheshtamana uccharita adigdodeshaha. When he saw that the world was unfavorable, imam lokam pratipam iva, like an enemy, unfavorable, yogasya adda, for his practice of yoga, tat pratikriya karma bhibatsitam, and that the remedial measures of the materialists were disgusting. Ajagaram vratam astitaha. He took the vow of the python. What is the vow of the python? Shayana. He remained in one place sleeping. Ashnati, eating. pibati, drinking, khadati, chewing, avamehati, urinating, and hadatisma, and passing stool there. Cheshtamana ucharita, and he rolled in that filth. Adigda uddesha, and his body became covered in it. So this was, this is what, if you see, complete derelicts, in the, who are like completely mentally challenged. You will see them sitting around with very meager, kind of, with very meager sense of cleanliness, you know. So like that, he was acting. He was not really, um, like that. He was not really like that, but he was acting like that, because he wanted to avoid people. He saw that the world was not favorable to his yoga because of disturbances caused by hunger, thirst, and people's outrage. The word eva, it appeared to be so, is used because nothing is unfavorable for the advanced yogi. Eva. The vow of the Python means to stay in one place and receive one's karmas of this life. Since he would stay in one place, he would not become an outrage to people, since he would be known. So, which means if he's staying in one place, uh, if he's moving around, then more and more people would get agitated seeing him for the first time. Hmm. They would think, oh, what kind of a person is this? And they would get excited like that. But if he stays in one place, then those people would get excited once. uh, They would get excited once, but they would not get excited again and again. Okay. They would not get excited again and again because they have seen him. They know, oh, this is how he is. So that way, more and more people would not get outraged. So for that purpose, he stayed at one place. He stayed at one place. So rolling in the urine and stool, parts of his body became covered with it. Tasyaha yah purisha surabhi saugandhya vayuhu tam desham dashayojanam samantat surabhim chakara. The wind, fragrant from the smell of his stool, made that place fragrant for 10 yojanas around. So that is the stool of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one may think that this condition is disgusting for a spiritual body. This verse explains the air became fragrant with the smell of his stool. Evam go mriga kaka kakacharya vrajam stishtan asinah shayanah kaka mriga gocharitah pibati kadati avamehati sma. While moving, standing, sitting, or lying down, acting like a cow, deer, or crow, and displaying this nature to people who were similar to crows and animals, he drank, ate, and urinated. Okay. So why he was showing like this? Why he was acting like this? He was acting like this just to uh, uh, he was displaying that nature just for bewildering the people who were also equivalent to crows or other animals. Iti nana yoga charya acharano Bhagavan Kaivalyapatir Rishabha Avirata Parama Mahanandanubhava Atmani Sarvesham Bhutanam Atmabhute Bhagavati Vasudeva Atmano Avyavadana Anantarodara Bhavena Siddha Samastartha Paripurnaha Yogaishwaryani Vaihayasa Mano Javantardana Manojava Antardana Parakaya Pravesha Duragrahanadini Yadrichaya Upagatani Na Anjasa Nripa Hridayena Abhyanandat. So then he says, the Supreme Lord Rishabha performing many types of yoga, the master who could award liberation, was always absorbed in the highest bliss. He was always absorbed in the highest bliss. He was filled with perfection of all goals through prema directly experienced within himself, which produced unlimited tears to himself, directed to himself in the form of Vasudeva, situated in all beings. So it is mentioned that he had great prema for himself in the form of Vasudeva. Okay. He had great prema for himself means, uh, you know, like we were discussing recently in our Chaitanya Charitamrita discussions, that, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya especially, there is a constant mention and emphasis of the Dasabhiman and the prema that is present in the amshas, even the swamsha expansions of the Supreme Lord towards the Amshi Krishna. So here there is a mm, uh, there is an indication of that here in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, where it is mentioned that Rishabhadev had prema towards himself. So this is hiding prema towards himself as Vasudev. Okay. So that way the Dasabhiman is not very clearly evident, but one should understand Rishabhadev would be an amsha of Vasudev. So he had that prema towards his amshi, which is very natural. O king, thus he did not welcome in his mind the mystic powers, such as flying in the sky, moving at the speed of the mind, the ability to disappear, entering other bodies, or seeing at a great distance, which suddenly appeared of their own accord within him. So therefore, those who have, those who are very highly qualified on the path of bhakti, these mystic siddhis come on their own. These mystic siddhis come on their own, but they don't take it. But they don't take it. Okay. So they don't they don't consider it as very exciting because they are completely absorbed in prema. Like you will see a typical difference between, I mean, I am not criticizing. In a very funny way. I'm telling in a very funny way because uh, uh, I mean this is nothing wrong, right? Because it is just that I have, uh, like for example, let's say a well-to-do family, they go to a, let's say, a resort or something during their vacation. Okay. So in that resort, they will give some complimentary these things, complimentary soaps and whatever, few things which are complimentary. Okay. Someone who is, you will see the well-to-do people, they will not take any of those complimentary things. Whereas little bit of a not so well-to-do family, you will see they will go. They will feel that every single I have paid for it, I will utilize everything. Okay. So all the complimentary things which are there, whatever is unused, they will put it in their bag and bring it. Have you noticed it? I have noticed it because, we fall in that category. I have paid for it. It comes complimentary with it. Okay. Even some, packets of, you know, coffee packet or whatever the complimentary soaps. Why we should waste it? I have paid for it. I deserve it. I will take it. Right. So, but you see, those who are well to do, they will not even bother to look at it. Okay. So they will not even bother to look at it. So this mystic siddhis, you will never see Prema Bhaktas exhibiting it so much because they don't really care about it, because they are busy in relishing the bliss of relationship with Krishna. Hmm. In relishing the bliss of the relationship with Krishna, right? So they don't really care to look at it. So this mystic siddhis is not something which comes only with the practice of yoga. For someone who is practicing bhakti, they automatically come, but it is not accepted by the devotees. Okay. They don't want to accept those. They don't try to look at those complimentary offers. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, take it, no issues. We don't want it. Okay. We don't want to carry it. We don't want to carry it with us. Right. So, so that's the point. So, but of course, we do see in cases like, in the case of Rasikananda, who is a great acharya in our line, he did show a lot of mystic siddhis to attract people who were very much attracted to those mystic siddhis. And there are some examples of Srila Prabhupada displaying some mystic siddhis in a very nonchalant way, not in a very in a way that would not attract attention of anyone. He displayed mystic siddhis in many of his, at least in some of his pastimes. Okay, so it is possible. Like there was one morning walk in the Juhu beach where everyone was walking, and you could see everyone's footsteps. You are walking in the beach sand, and everyone's footprints was there, but somehow Prabhupada's footprints were not getting registered. This is Lagima Siddhi in one sense, becoming lighter than the light. Okay, the footprints were not seen. Okay, there were other siddhis where you know one of his personal servants or one of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada saw him speaking to the monkeys in their language. In their language. Okay. There was a conversation. I think it was Yamuna Mataji. It is there documented. Okay. So these siddhis are there. They don't, they are not excited about it. They are not excited about it. Okay. A middle class family is excited, either first time they are traveling in a flight. Okay. First time they are traveling in a flight or something like that. They will take all the complimentary things and collect it and bring it home. Okay. But a frequent flyer who is always flying is not bothered about it. Okay. Why? He will think, why carry the junk home? Okay. Leave it here only, like that. So that's the mentality. That's the mentality of those whose heart is filled with prema. Why carry this junk home? Like that they don't bother about it. Okay. Kaivalya Patihi means that he gave merging in Brahman to others out of his mercy. One should consider that these pastimes are a meditation for teaching yogis. They are not to be imitated. Even though Rishabha was the supreme lord, he developed prema for Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva, since Vasudeva is the most worthy of worship amongst all the avatars. You see here, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti is bringing about this point. He did not say that Vasudeva is non-different. He says, no, because Vasudeva is most worthy of worship. Bhishma said, Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devarshir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa. O King, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage of the heavens, and Lord Kapila, who is directly the Lord, know the most secret anubhavas of Krishna, though not his intentions, which means here it is mentioned that even Kapila Dev, mm, even Kapila Dev, mm, even Kapila Dev used to worship. Okay, Kapila Dev is also a Swamsha expansion of the Supreme Lord. The concept of many supreme lords is rejected, and thus the word Atmani, self, is used in reference to Vasudeva. So one should not think that it is polytheism. Therefore, the word Atmani, to himself, he had prema for himself in the form of Vasudeva, it is mentioned. But did he actually have prema? Yes, he did. But does it mean that this is polytheism? No. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa. Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira. It is Keshava only who accepted these forms. But these forms have completely independent mentality. Ultimately, uh, ultimately, in one sense, uh, Ekam Brahma Dvitiya Nasti. This is not a Mayavadi statement. The Mayavadis misinterpret this statement. Ekam Brahma Dvitiya Nasti. There is only Brahma, nothing else. This is true, actually. Because ultimately, whatever exists is but an Amsha or a Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is nothing that exists without the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is not connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ekam Brahma Dvitiya Nasti. Because all the Swamsha expansions are his expansions, all the Jivas are his Vibhinamsha expansions. The whole material world, spiritual world, etc., all are his energies, either his Bahiranga Shakti or his Tatastha Shakti, or his Antaranga Shakti energies. So, practically, because everything is either his energy, Amsha, etc. So, that Lord existing along with his energies and Amshas, Ekam Brahma Dvitiya Nasti. Apart from that one Lord, nothing exists, because everything that exists is actually, it is his body, his energy, etc. So therefore, you should not say that Rishabhadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, had prema towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev. Because you can say that, provided the people very clearly understand that, yes, still there is no threat to the um, monotheistic understanding of Vaishnavism. Okay. But for those who may not understand it properly, the word Atmani is used, oneself. Okay. But that does not mean here Rishabhadev is performing Ahangropasana, worshipping oneself, considering oneself the Supreme Lord. He is not doing that. He is having genuine prema, because where there is Ahangropasana, there can be no prema. Then the word prema would not be used to indicate Rishabhadev's feelings towards Vasudev. But the word Atmani is used to indicate, so, is used to clarify that this is not, still Vaishnavism is monotheism. Vaishnavism is monotheistic, but it is much more sophisticated than what we understand. Rodara means giving tears. He was filled with prema, which produced unlimited tears, complete with all results, directly manifested in himself, directed to Vasudev, who is non-different from himself, being his Amshi. Vaihayasa means having the ability to fly in the sky. Manojava means moving his body as fast as the mind. Dura Grahana means seeing things far away. Okay, this brings us to the end of this chapter. I'll do a quick recap of what we have seen in this section. Rishabhadev instructed his sons, although they were highly learned, to set an example for the public. He then enthroned Bharata, and accepting only bodily maintenance, even while remaining at home, and acting like a madman, he walked about Brahmavarta naked. Accepting the dress of an Avaduta, he acted like a dull, blind, deaf, and mute person. When addressed by people, he remained silent, since he had taken a vow of silence. He wandered the earth alone, remaining indifferent to insults, scolding, and beatings of low-class people who treated him in disgusting ways. He was not afflicted since he did not identify with me or mine and was situated in a spiritual body. Though he had a very beautiful body, because it was neglected and covered with dirt, he appeared to be haunted. When he saw that the world was unfavorable for his practice of yoga, he took the vow of the python and remained in one place, sleeping, eating, drinking, urinating, and passing stool there. He rolled in the filth, and his body became covered in it. But his stool was so fragrant that the wind carrying the smell of his stool made the place fragrant for 10 yojanas around. He thus acted like an animal to bewilder animalistic people. He was always absorbed in the highest bliss of prema towards Vasudev. Thus, he did not welcome the 8 siddhis, which suddenly appeared of their own accord within him. This was the activities of Rishabhadev. Thus ends the commentary on the 5th chapter of the 5th canto of Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. Okay. Any quick discussion points, comments, questions, anything anyone would like to share? Ask Ed. We will take it right now. There are some questions in the chat box. We'll take them first. Comments or questions? Let's see. Yeah, even Shukadev Goswami was treated like this. Yes, correct. The outcasts in the society usually exhibit unsocial behavior to those who are physically disabled, extremely ugly, or very repulsive in behavior. Seeing the physical attractiveness of Rishabhadev as described, it is surprising how such a person would be treated like this. That's why it is mentioned that they were low-class people. Okay. He was attractive, but at the same time, his activities were not so, in one sense, they were not so pleasant. So therefore, they treated him like this. So that's why they are called as low-class people. What to speak of that? The demons want to kill also the Supreme Lord. Okay, it's not that the Lord's and that Lord who is not even showing these kind of activities. He is he is showing proper activities, but still the demons become uh, inimical towards him, inimically disposed towards him. Okay. Narada Muni coming and garlanding Kadamba garland at Jhansi during one night, which Srila Prabhupada narrated later. Yeah, correct. Yes, 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 yes. Srila Prabhupada experienced Lord Shri Krishna's presence and keeping his hands on his head in Jaladuta ship. Yeah, that was more like a spurti. Yeah, you can say, yeah, of course. But we are talking about yogic siddhi types. In fact, creating this entire ISKCON movement in such a short time, translating so many scriptures, getting 108 temples built, and all this is no less than a mystical experience. Yeah, correct. That is true. Avanti Brahmana was also treated something similar. Yes, correct. Okay. So, are there any unanswered questions from the last couple of days? We still have some time. We still have a lot of time. How much time do we have? Yeah, we still have a lot of time. But yes, if there are any quick discussion points, comments, questions, anything anyone would like to share, ask Ed. Based on last 2-3 days discussions also, if there are any leftover questions, we can take. If there is none, then Radha Pramod Prabhu can take extra time and cover more portions. Yes, Pavan Gaurang Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandat
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Prabhuji, this is this question regarding the day before yesterday's discussion. So this thought process is going on my mind. So for one of the question, the devotee asked in the airports and the other places, they are keeping all the books. And the one from the Pune, he written the Ramayana. So in that context, you mentioned that our sampradaya, the purpose of our sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came here for the different purpose. So, and even our acharyas, they have not written, even though they have ample of time, but they have not written a commentary on Ramayana.
Yeah,
And one more thing also, you mentioned, gave the one example of, shop selling the items. One shop fellow is selling his own things. That doesn't mean he is diminishing other shop items, but he is sticking to his own, sailing things. That
Yeah.
means you are mentioning that chastity of our parampara. I really agree with this point, Prabhu. Now, my question is here. Now, if you see Ramayana, like many people, they will appreciate. And if we, in one sense, if there is a scope, like for example, as of our, we are more into the preaching, what we can say, in the moment. And if you see other sampradayas, mostly from Sri Sampradaya, they are doing, I think I cannot comment on that and how much they are actively, in the phase of preaching or giving this knowledge to others. But rarely other two sampradayas are not in that much. This pro-
Your voice is not very clearly audible now.
So my point is here. Now Sri Sampradaya, they are
Mhm,
not as much as if you see in the preaching movement, they are not as much as. But
mhm.
even though our ISKCON devotees, somebody is writing Ramayana book in the point of emphasizing that, is it anything, diminish that thing? Like, is it reduces the chastity of that thing? Why? Because as we have so many people, and you also mentioned another point in that, maybe Ramayana is mostly in the Dasya mood. Yes, Prabhu. If you see all the relationship with the Lord, Hanuman, Sita, and Lakshman, all the mood is emphasizing that Dasya mood. Whereas our Sampradaya is emphasizing something else, that mood is different. Is
Yeah.
because of this conflict, is that you want to, no, this is kind of a clarification. Is this is the which we will get the conflict?
Yeah. The first is of the mood of affection is very different.
Yes,
Okay. And the object of affection is very different. So
yes,
Ramayana is a Bhakti Grantha, which is meant to stimulate love towards the form of Lord Ramachandra in those who hear those pastimes.
yes,
Uh, so, therefore, why didn't our acharyas comment on it? Because they came to give Krishna Bhakti. You
yes,
cannot, you cannot write a commentary on Ramayana and stimulate Krishna Bhakti, because the whole purpose of that book is to stimulate love for the form of Lord Ramachandra within the heart of the readers.
yes, bro.
So, so therefore, it's a very common sense thing that our acharyas did not write a commentary on it, because they came to give something very specific. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya avatirnah kalau. So having said that, should someone in our sampradaya write commentaries on Ramayana? I don't have a problem with that, as long as uh, the followers are very properly educated to understand what this sampradaya stands for.
Yes, bro.
That should be very clear. Uh, it should not happen that the whole sampradaya, uh, uh, people, and it's not like the one who is writing a commentary means, unless he's a very, very exalted Vaishnava, he would be merely, I hope, translating the commentaries written by acharyas of the other sampradaya,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes,
Because uh, unless someone is very exalted, they cannot write their own commentaries actually. No. So writing a
yes,
commentary, I mean, of course, you can explain some Siddhantic points in your commentary. See, there are different types of commentaries. Okay. There is a if there is a verse and you want to explain the Siddhanta in your commentary,
okay,
that you can do. For that, you don't need very high qualification.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
But if you want to write what Lord Ramachandra is thinking here,
Yeah, got point.
if it is not mentioned in the verse, then an ordinary Vaishnava cannot comment on that, because it needs that Leela Spurti to write.
Yes,
Uh,
bro. Got your
you
point.
cannot
Yes,
You cannot comment on that. Okay. So, so very likely they are just translating the commentaries by other Vaishnavacharyas. So the other Vaishnavacharyas have come here to propagate Rama Bhakti because it is overflowing in their heart. They
Yes.
themselves are Rama Bhaktas. They themselves are probably eternal associates of Lord Ramachandra in the
Yes.
Ayodhya Dham. So, and they have come for that particular goal, for that purpose. So their heart is overflowing with that. Uh, but
Yes.
just like Prabhupada said, my purports are my devotional ecstasies. So
Yes.
these commentaries of those Sri Vaishnava Acharyas to Ramayana are their devotional ecstasies.
Yes, Prabhu.
And it has a particular effect. It will stimulate, it will stimulate, uh, mm, you know, love towards Lord Ramachandra. Now, if that is what you want to do, you can do. It's not a problem. But if
Yes,
you
Prabhu.
do it, but is that what? But every sampradaya has a particular unique thing which it has come to give, and
Yes.
one should understand that.
Yes.
So again, I will bring it back to the same thing that I did yesterday. We are not discussing about whether this should be done or not. That only discussion is whether we should be the one doing it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then, if everyone starts doing these kind of things, then the unique thing which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give will very soon be lost.
Yes.
uh, will very soon be lost. Okay. So that does not mean, again, I will clarify, we are not intolerant to Ramayana and Mahabharata being spread. We are very joyful to see if if I see Sri Vaishnavites distributing their books, I honestly do not feel any sense of competition. I feel very happy. I feel very happy. Let them spread.
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, In fact, when I see someone trying to sincerely practice Sri Vaishnavism, I never ever preach to them about ISKCON. I encourage them to follow their Sri Vaishnavism nicely.
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, I keep asking my cousin brothers, who is very interested. He is inspired seeing me uh, being dedicated to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. It inspires him to feel dedicated to his own practice of Sri Vaishnavism. I always ask him, are you hearing your own Acharya's words? Are you reading what they say? Are you doing your daily rituals of Sandhya Vandanam? Even though I don't do Sandhya Vandanam, but I ask him, are you regularly doing your 3 times Sandhya Vandanam? I ask him.
Yes, Prabhu.
So I'm not against it. But the
Yes, Prabhu.
question is, my only fear is that it should not happen that few years down the line, you know, we talk about the general things which uh, which are which the greater Vedic lineage is giving, but there is no one talks about the unique thing which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. That should not be lost. And you see in the other sampradayas also, they don't speak generic things. They are very, very chaste to what their acharyas wrote and the specific thing that their acharya came to give.
Yes,
Why should
Prabhu.
we be any different?
Yes.
Why should we be any different? That's the point.
So, a follow-up to this question, I'm recently heard multiple times on this thing, like Prabhupada, like if you see in the Bhakti Shastri in our Bhakti Bible, there is a one aspect of mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So I repeatedly heard multiple times this, what is this mood and mission of the Prabhupada? Why we need to have this exam? And this kind of meant to say this is not required. In that sense, some are giving comment. Why? Because I see these are bit their practice from more number of years. So how I should see this thing, Prabhu?
I don't
As a
understand your question, Prabhu.
like here, as when some people they're telling, like if the Bhakti Shastra in the Bhakti Bible,
Mhm.
there is one aspect of mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. If
Yeah.
you see in the question and answers and something,
Yeah.
there one aspect is there. So
Yeah.
some senior Vaishnavas, they are telling this mood and mission all is not required. This question ending answer is not that much so required. Mean to say, if it is mood and mission is not so much required. Why? Because even in a material organization, even any
Mm-hmm.
of the thing, they have some
Mm-hmm.
purpose, some ethical values, everything will be there. So
Yeah.
I could see in my office also there, if somebody is coming with a different without having ethical values, immediately they will terminate the person. So
Mm.
even for a material organization, they have the ethics and values, and
Mm-hmm.
some mood and mission. Then why Prabhupada is mentioned as the mood and mission? Why that should not be the case? And this is some few devotees I heard from that this mood and mission is not required so much.
Well, I don't know exactly what they meant by it, so I will choose not to comment on it. So, because I did not hear from them firsthand what exactly they said and what exactly they meant, I have not heard from them firsthand. So, I will choose not to comment on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Shivakumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad pranams, Prabhu.
Dandavat Prabhu.
Okay. So, Prabhu, two questions, Prabhu, pending from past few days. I
Mhm.
have just pasted in the chat box, Prabhu. The first one, when we understand the Kramamukti paths, we have heard from you that the Sakama progresses to Nishkama and Nishkama has to progress to Jnana path, right, Prabhu? That's what
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
So, but if I look at this Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, fourth sloka, Prabhu,
Mhm.
where it says that the sloka translation, I believe, those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hear, Prabhu, here it sounds like these two paths are parallel, actually, not hierarchical. Um,
Okay.
then,
So, the verse that you're quoting is
mm,
Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhav Tayostu
mm,
Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Okay. So
mm,
that is that verse. The context of this whole point is whether
mm,
those who are qualified for jnana, should
mm,
they give up the practices of karma or should they continue to practice? So
mm,
this is the context of discussion that Krishna is bringing up here.
mm,
So he says that, see, for those who become uh, for for those who are qualified for jnana, their heart
mm,
is purified. There are
mm,
two options. One is karma sannyas or performance or continue to perform nishkama karma yoga. This
mm,
is karma on the platform of jnana, where
mm,
even though
mm,
they have reached the stage of jnana, but
mm,
they, rather than giving up that karma, they continue to perform karma. Whereas the
mm,
other person may give up karma. That is called as karma sannyas.
mm,
So
mm,
Krishna says, yes, both can give, both are, if the person is qualified,
mm,
okay, if the person
mm,
is qualified, then
mm,
both are okay. Okay.
mm,
Then both
mm,
are okay. He can either give up the practice of karma or
mm,
he can choose to practice karma. Even
mm,
he can choose to practice karma on the platform of jnana.
mm,
But of the two,
mm,
to practice karma on the platform of jnana is better
mm,
because for two reasons. One is because
mm,
it is safe.
mm, mm,
Because you may have misjudged your qualification. You may
mm,
have you may you may think that you are completely purified, but
mm,
you may realize that actually you are not completely purified. There are some
mm,
traces of impurity still there. So in
mm,
that case, if you prematurely give up your practice of karma, then it will be a
mm,
problem.
mm,
And the
mm,
second is that even though you may be qualified, but you can set the right example for others who may not be qualified for jnana. So if you
mm,
continue to practice karma in a detached way,
mm,
internally meditating, internally performing the limbs of jnana,
mm,
then it sets a good example for others also. In that sense,
mm,
Krishna says, so it is
mm,
not, he's not suggesting that these two are he's not suggesting any two parallel paths. He says that for a person on the gradual path, even when he reaches the stage of jnana, to give up karma is optional. That's what he's telling.
Okay, okay. Okay, Prabhu. So, okay, Prabhu. So, I think I'll listen to it few times, Prabhu, to kind of understand.
If you wish to get more thoughts on this, I would suggest go to the Bhagavad Gita recordings,
Okay, yes, Prabhu.
okay, and listen to these verses and the explanations.
Okay, okay.
We have discussed this in great detail. We have spoken about Nishkama Karma Yoga type 1, type 2. What
Okay,
is the
okay.
difference between Nishkama Karma Yoga type 1 and Nishkama Karma Yoga type 2? All those things, we have discussed, and you will get a little more clarity on that.
Okay, okay, okay,
So he's
Prabhu.
not talking about two parallel paths. He's
Okay,
talking
okay.
about one path in which the karma sannyas being optional. That's what he
Got it,
says.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 Prabhu. Okay. So, and just extending this question, Prabhu, now I'm referring to Bhagavatam 11:26 also. There
Yeah.
also, when Lord speaks to Uddhava, Lord says, I have, for achieving the perfection, I have presented the three paths of advancement. I think some of your explanation might as well apply to
Yeah.
this, apply to this sloka
Yeah.
also in terms of understanding how we should take it. But my
Yeah.
question, Prabhu, here, it seems few things are not really, maybe I'm wrong, Prabhu, correct me. Any reason why the things that are coming out in Acharya's explanations are not black and white called out in the sloka translation itself? In the sense, let me pick one example of even in this sloka, for example, when we talk about perfection or when we talk about the goal of goal of life itself, that it's the prema, love of God, it is one goal. But if we are looking for only liberation, then this is these are the choices that you have. If you want to have liberation as the goal, this is what bhakti is, what the path for love of God. As far as I remember, Prabhu, directly in the sloka, this is not directly called out, but it seems we are getting this from the explanation of the acharyas.
Correct.
Correct me, Prabhu, if I'm wrong. And my
Yeah.
question is, any reason why is it that so, Prabhu, that it is left for explanation than being explicitly called out in the sloka by the Lord himself directly?
The thing is, what is explicit for you? I mean, the question is not about explicit or implicit. The question is explicit for whom? Okay. Because two people seeing the same thing will not see the same thing. We saw the example of a pathologist looking at a
Okay.
sample through the microscope, and an ordinary person looking at the sample through the microscope. Even though they are seeing the same thing, but they are not seeing the same thing. Okay. So now, what the Acharya is writing in his commentary
Okay.
is what is directly seen by a pathologist. But you're seeing the same thing, but you're not seeing.
Okay. Okay.
That's the point. That's the point.
Okay.
So why is it not directly given? It is for a pathologist, it is directly there. Because he has studied the science, lived the science. Therefore, when something is spoken, he can see beyond what is obviously visible to a layman. But it is direct. It is not indirect for him. It is direct for him.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Prabhu.
And
Okay, Prabhu.
another thing, because what does Krishna say about the transfer of this knowledge? Evam parampara praptam ivam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. He says that. So because this is the system that Krishna has created, that this knowledge should be disseminated. Even in the material world, ordinary knowledge, right? It is there in the books, but still, unless a teacher teaches it, it's very difficult to understand. Right? Like that. That is a system that Krishna has created.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Okay. So, Prabhu, just one confirmation, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for this analogy. This is helpful. Just one confirmation. Mm, when we also know that even within Vaishnavite Acharyas, there are different revelations, different perspectives that are given for same context, same sloka, same thing. And
Yeah.
we have discussed this, that in spiritual realm, multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not just one way of looking at it. So
Yeah.
now, if we have to extend this, Prabhu, for an argument's sake, I'm saying, if an impersonalist says that the ultimate truth is for me is impersonal liberation, where you say it is love of Godhead. So if you have to look at these multiple truths present at the same time, we are saying there are different levels of truth. Is that the understanding, Prabhu, that we have?
Correct.
Yeah.
In one sense, when you are talking about impersonalism and personalism, you can say that there are different levels. But when we are talking about different shades of revelations to bona fide Vaishnava acharyas, then you call it as different shades rather than different levels.
Okay. Okay. So when you say different shades, Prabhu, even is that the view that we should hold in terms of even seeing the difference between the Aishwarya Bhava in Vaikunta versus Prema in Vraja?
Yeah, that is true. Different
We should
tastes,
not
that's all.
we should not look at it as two different levels, Prabhu.
See, we will naturally look at it at two different levels from our perspective.
Okay.
Like a South Indian will always feel, yeah, South Indian food is the best. Okay. But he knows and he has no problem when a Gujarati says that no, Gujarati food is the best. He will not debate with him because while he naturally feels that my food is the best, he can definitely relate with the other person saying that his food is the best. He will not sit and scratch his head and telling, how is it that there are two different, absolutely different explanations given by two different people? He will not have a problem with that. He knows, yeah, fine, it's very natural.
So okay, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, here is where I am trying to kind of understand. Maybe you can help me. If an impersonalist argues, counters Vaishnava, why don't you have this outlook with an impersonalist? Why are you trying to consider it as two different levels rather than two different shades?
Yeah,
What
I
could be our
agree.
argument? We should agree.
I will not argue only.
Ah.
I will not argue only. That's the point. Because by arguing, what do you accomplish?
Yes, Prabhu.
You don't accomplish anything. Because by arguing, are you going to, is it possible to lend your eyes to him by just arguing? It's not possible. So the point is, if they say, if let's say you are really an impersonalist and you're asking the same thing, why don't you extend it to the impersonalists? Isn't it reasonable? I said, this is absolutely reasonable. You are very correct. I agree. And that's where I will end the discussion and share some prasadam with him. That's all.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. As always, beautiful and enlightening discussion. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Shyam Sundaranand Prabhu. Why do you always raise your hands last? Shyam
Hare
Sundaranand
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. Hare
Yeah, go
Krishna,
ahead.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Sorry, I raised the hand as soon as Vavangarang Prabhu said, but by the time it became the third.
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
I mean, okay. I think I left one question in the WhatsApp, but that I will leave it for later. I just want to continue for the Pavan
The
Gaurang Prabhu's.
Jainism question, the Jainism totally has not come yet. That is going to come in the next chapter, actually.
Okay, fine. Yeah. I just wanted to continue the discussion on Pavanagaram crossing. First of
Yeah.
all, in our previous meeting, whatever I have, I just want to clarify my stance. In the mood I was asking, I was not in any way taking the names of anyone which I have wanted to take, but that just was the part of the discussion that I should not have done it, but I just want to clarify that in future I will not take the names. Second thing is uh, I was just pondering upon what the discussion here, and I am in complete agreement with what the consensus has come so far in our discussion. Right.
Mhm.
So the first answer was given is ask that person who is writing that book. Right. I am completely aligned with that. And
Mhm.
the first and second thing, and also the further discussions on that. So I just was reflecting, when Ramanand is challenged our, Gaudiya Vaishnavas with respect to worshipping Radharani along with Krishna in Jaipur. So
Mhm.
that time the argument was given was that you people don't have the commentary on Vedanta Sutra.
Correct.
So our acharyas were saying that the natural commentary is already available, so
Yeah.
they did not find a need for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has come up as a part in much later after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come during I think Baldev Bhushan's time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means the time and the situation play a factor in acceptance or non-acceptance of a parampara. Now there is some axiomatic principles which are not to be changed, right? So everyone should adhere to those principles. If we say that who is the your Vishaya Vastu, we don't have say any doubt saying that it is Krishna, right? As Gaudiya
Mhm.
Vaishnava and
Mm.
Vrajendra Nandan Krishna. So to
Mm.
say.
Mm.
So and what is the path? It is bhakti. There is no
Mm.
second. So there are some fixated rules which we never move, right?
Mm.
So having
Mm.
said that, and so when in a preaching movement, when we are talking to audience, I mean, I think you clarified that also. The whole discussion is about the confusion which is happening among the internal people, than what is the effect it is taking to the so-called not external people, right? So now, since we are a preaching movement, so is it? I mean, is it? I don't think so. It is not a prohibition to comment on any other thing than uh, Srimad Bhagavatam or something like that, and it is not a prohibition that we don't talk about it. So the
No,
very
I never
fact
said
that
that.
no, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand that you never said it. The very fact that these pastimes are present in Bhagavatam also, and
Yeah.
in a very sequential manner, and
Mhm.
establishing the ashraya as the highest thing, right?
Mhm.
So first it started with creation, then all the other avatars, lila avatars, and then it came to Narasimha, Vamana, all these things, and came, and then Ramachandra is also there just before the 10th canto.
Correct. It
So
is there. Yeah.
so these are all gradation, and it has been very diligently put in Bhagavatam also, and our acharyas also has taken it in that way, right?
Correct. Correct.
So now, having said that, now if someone is commenting on Ramayana or Mahabharata from our sampradaya, so
Mhm.
is it is it? I'm not saying that they do not necessarily say that since I am commenting on Ramayana, so I am so from tomorrow I will talk about Ramachandra like the Sri Vaishnavas do, like as a supreme. So
Mhm.
I still maintain my allegiance and loyalty to Krishna, but
Mhm.
still I can write about and talk about Ramchandra, and even for that point the Dharma Shastra also, like yesterday we were talking about Nyaya, Vaisheshika, all these things. These are like the assistive things to establish a philosophy, right? So if we the reason for this, I mean, I have heard some of the discussion. The reason is in scholarly circles, quote unquote. So our Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara having the the vast literature and the highest philosophy, we are not able to penetrate into the literary circles just because they have something else as a pramana, right?
Okay.
So now, if we are saying that no, if we will leave to comment for the pramanas to the other sampradayas and we don't do it, then how is it that we are even considered as a we will be in going in the future, we will be considered as a bona fide religion, right? So then are we saying that we don't care what the outside society says?
Well,
No, we would
no,
definitely want to be
no,
part of the.
wait.
Yeah.
I did not say someone in the academia should not do it, but it does not become a mainstream thing.
But it is a ripple effect, right? For example, if someone writes a book, right? I'll give a practical example of it. If someone
Okay,
writes
one
a book,
thing I will answer this question. Okay, provided see, I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem at all. Anyone can do anything, provided the only one thing is promise me that you will not the insider will be protected and educated. As long as that promise is there, you can do anything you want. I don't have a problem.
yeah, even I agree
You
with
should
that.
the insider should not henceforth come and say that Bhagavatam is for living only, and for living you need other literatures. As long as you can promise me that such people will, I mean, people who have been practicing for years together will not speak like that, I'm okay with it. Provided you can give me that guarantee, you can do anything you want. I have absolutely no issue.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
I honestly feel, I again feel, and I will again and again tell this, I think it is more important to protect the purity of faith of the insiders than to get many outsiders. Uh, this is something which I feel very strongly.
yeah, I understand, Prabhu. I understand the mood, and I am in complete acceptance with that. Having said that, this is one aspect of looking at. So we can't stop expanding, and we can't.
No,
Uh,
I don't mean to say
no,
expand
I
the way
mean,
Srila Prabhupada expanded.
yeah. I mean, I am trying to reconcile. This is my doubt. I may be wrong also. So uh, we when we are preaching, we don't know who is hearing us. So we
Yeah.
will present our philosophy, and we will try to make their faith as strong as possible in line with the teachings of our acharyas. The preaching methods, the tools, and everything will change over time. So what is
Pramana
acceptable?
will not change.
Huh?
Pramana will not change. As
Of
long,
course.
see, I don't have a problem. As long as the Pramana does not change, I don't have a problem. Don't get me right. The teaching methodologies over a period of time in our parampara have definitely changed. Okay. But one thing which did not change is the books that they commented on. You can go over the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism or Sri Vaishnavism or Madhava Vaishnavism and tell me one example where the Sampradaya Acharyas, where the along with the change of the preaching techniques, the outreach techniques, the books that the subsequent acharyas commented upon changed. Give me one example.
No. See, we discussed this. I don't have any issue in that. So my question is whether this was done or not. Absolutely not. It has not been done. Now my question is whether should be or it cannot be done or not. So
No, I
I
don't
agree with
know.
your
See,
point that
I'm looking for precedence. That's all.
yeah, I understand there is no precedence so far, right?
So
Um,
then my next question is, on what basis you decide whether to do it or not? If precedence even a consideration in your decision making to decide
So
whether
now
to do it
my
or not?
my this thing is that for eternity, none of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas should comment on Ramayana. That is what we are saying.
I am not saying that. What I am only saying is Kshantir avyartakalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabandha asamutkanta namagane sadaruchi asaktis tadgunakyane preetistad vasatistale. Period. If someone has these qualifications, they can come out. Because
Huh.
we need to know, because we want to protect the sampradaya from deviations also, right?
Yeah, I am in complete agreement with that aspect. We don't want to have a deviation. That is the reason we are talking about it.
See, I
Right?
am afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm already seeing it. The
Huh.
practically in our practices and everything,
Hmm.
so many things have
Hmm.
crept in where we are losing our identity. I am afraid
Absolutely.
of that. I am
Absolutely.
afraid of that, and it's already happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree that it is already happening, and I do agree that there is a need for reforming such things. All these things are required, right? So we don't want to have we want to protect the faith of the insider and not spread any confusion, especially from those people who are long standing. All these things are right. So
And
now
another
do
thing,
we? Yeah.
I want to have some realistic statistics where by introducing new pramanas, the preaching has just skyrocketed. I,
I
I
will
don't
leave
know.
that. I will leave that up to the authors and the propagators of those books to
See,
get
I
those
don't have a
statistics.
problem. See, as long as the authors are very clear that this is for the outside world, I don't say that the ISKCON insiders should not do anything for the outside world. My only concern is that please educate the insiders and ensure
Mm.
that they have a clear understanding of what their pramana is and how much they should read what. That's all.
Yeah,
I
and
don't have
I
any problem with that.
yes, Prabhuji, and I can say that Prabhuji, even in the name of even if we just for the time's sake we remove the Ramayana and Mahabharata out of the discussion, and if anything in this world is slowly deteriorating, right? even
Yeah.
even the pramanas which we are talking about, they are, I mean, everybody is talking in their own respect, with their own understanding about the same pramana also. So
At
even about
least the pramana they are not changing.
yeah, they are not changing the pramana, but
Hmm.
see,
So you
I
mean
am
to
a
say by
novice.
changing the pramana,
No,
they will see if
how
anyways they
many
are going to
people, I am
see.
asking Prabhu, how many people in ISKCON, when we are
Hmm,
when someone is sitting on the Vyasasan, and
hmm,
for example, I will take my example only,
hmm,
and I
hmm,
am talking about a verse in the Bhagavatam. All I
hmm.
can do is I can read Srila Prabhupada book and interpret it on in my own way, and I can say so many things on the Vyasasan, and people may take it as a pramana just because I have spent some time in ISKCON, and they are going to take it. So who is the no, who is responsible for that? No, I am responsible first, and those who are
See,
higher ups on me, it is their responsibility to correct me, right? So
yeah,
this happens everywhere. This happens always.
yeah. So
So
that
it
is
is
why
not
here
necessary that a Ramayana or a Mahabharata can bring a deviation.
I
Even
don't
the
say that. I
yeah.
see when you are quoting something from what is happening around the world, the point is it is not that they will start thinking that it is a shastra and pramana. But that is not the way it happens when it comes to introducing the other literatures. Okay. See, anyways, I don't have a problem. I told you.
Yeah.
This is with this we will end because it's already
Yeah.
2 minutes over time, and
Okay.
we can continue this tomorrow if needed. The
Yeah.
point is, as long as someone guarantees that it should not happen that people start speaking that Bhagavatam is only for living and you need the other literatures for living and all those kind of things, I have no problem.
Yeah, I know. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. So we'll end here. Thank you all very much for your patient listening and your enthusiastic participation.